Moreness-Living. Good morning, Syl.
Good. Magical morning, Beena. Good magical morning. It's wonderful to be here. It's wonderful to be
Hello,
here.
brain also. So we have all things are set up now. So
Yes,
sorry for
yes.
not being able, not being live day before yesterday on Friday. It was scheduled, but things were coming, so it was because of appropriateness. You feel that and the reason was I was not feeling the usual energy level. Not physically, it was emotionally and psychologically, things like that. It was not negative, it was not sad or stressed, nothing. It was just a low energy. And I'm learning to practice, to follow and to acknowledge the energy also. Because when we are giving something our full energy, those things they flourish, they bloom. And if we are not with high energy, not high energy actually, but with the usual required energy, if we are not in that phase and we still try to push ourselves to do things, those things never worked out the way we actually desired. So, and this is something I'm observing in my life. When I'm in good positive energy, when I do things, uh, I can do more in a limited time. And that was my assumption, completely opposite to this actually. That I was assuming that nobody, I need to push myself, I need to do things because otherwise I'm not going to do achieve my targets and goals and all these things. But actually not. Paying attention to energy is a big, huge deal. And that's why Way of Impeccability is all about energy management.
Yes. And using your energy in the best possible way.
Exactly. Exactly, and this is so magical because if we start paying attention to the energy and appropriate usage of energy, application of energy, we will see that how it applies to every single aspect of our life.
Yep.
Like when people lie. Yes, I'm again. I will say that as a disclaimer. That I'm saying that okay, when unnecessary, where they can avoid it. If the situation is not dependent on something like okay, if you have to save someone's life or someone's relationship, then it's a different deal, of course. So I'm saying lie in a more general way. When people just lie about things, generally, why we do that? First thing is that we assume that we have a control to fix things, which is absolutely wrong, and it is absolutely coming from the ego side. And also that when we do that, we assume that we have saved the situation, we were helping others, but actually, and it is sometimes it is just energy efficient. If I have to make it more clear, it will take time and energy. So it's better to avoid that. Just say that. Actually, it takes a lot of energy, much more than just saying things upright, straight away, or clear, as in other words, say truth. Because to keep that lie intact, you have to go back to again and again and again and again and do that. And it's a
Exactly. It
negative
takes
energy.
it exactly, and you have to worry about it being discovered and all. Oh man, come
And
on.
also that your inner bureaucrats never accept that. So there is
Exactly.
another fight actually just started inside yourself. A
Exactly.
continuous battle between you and your inner bureaucrat because they do try to make it right. And in some situation, it is impossible to make it true for yourself. And then,
Massive foolishness. Massive
indeed,
foolishness, in other words.
yes. So energy management is a big, huge deal. And this is what we were practicing. So the day before yesterday on Friday, uh, it's used to be hard for me to say no. I cannot do this, but now it is like duh. It is super easy for me to say no. I'm not feeling that. If that would be if Syl might say that okay, no, Beena, it is needed now. Then I will say okay, yes. But I would be aware that I'm not in that energy, so it will not be a stress. Syl will be aware, would be aware of this, that okay, she's not in that usual energy level, so he would not expect things. So then things would be much easier for us. People say that, oh, learn to say no. Yes, learn to say no, but learn to say why you are saying no. Try to understand that, why you are
Exactly,
saying
exactly. Learn to
saying
be at
no is
ease saying no, not just saying
exactly.
no. Learn to be at ease saying
Exactly, exactly. And why we are saying that, clarity of intent, again, coming back to that, is a huge, huge deal. That's why way of
no.
impeccability, you cannot just pick one thing and assuming that I understand the whole of the thing, because everything is connected to every other concept. And that is
Exactly.
something very, very huge for me, because this is the checking mechanism for me. I always check every concept. If it is in contradiction with any other concept, already existing concepts of way-of-impeccability, then it's a false thing. I always check that. It has to make connection, vital, smooth connection, positive connection to all the existing concepts. That's why you have to take it in totality. You cannot just run away with one thing that, okay, I learned power pose. In isolation, and power pose is nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It all works together. All works together.
It is all connected. So you cannot just
Speaking
pick
of,
one. Exactly. It is not like, okay, something it is forced on you, but the way this whole system, this whole understanding, this whole awareness system is designed and developed, you cannot just pick one and okay, leave others. No, if you try to understand, if you really transform your life, you have to take it in totality. To transform
exactly.
your entire life, your entire being, you have to take it in totality and practice
Yes.
everything.
Yes. 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 All right. We'll continue today. Yes. You ready,
Yes,
Beena?
yes.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's
Please,
so cool what you're saying. It's very important. Very, very important. I don't know yet how this is going to connect to Shakespeare, but we'll see.
we will see.
Particularly
We will see.
Coriolanus, right? This is the name of the play, Coriolanus. We're in Act
Yes,
1, Scene 2. Now,
yes,
Beena, will you
yes.
please read the first senator and I'll read Alphidius and the rest. I'll read the other stuff. But you
Okay.
read the very short scene is just between the first senator and Alphidius. Now, Alphidius is the general of the invading army. Now, a lot of times there was civil war in Rome. Different people had different armies, and they would fight again. I don't know if Alphidius is it hasn't been made clear yet if he's part of the Roman world or if he's from some outside army. Nonetheless, there's a senator talking to Alphidius, which means the senator is, well, I don't know, he's talking to him. How's that work? Right? So you read the senator, and you've got to have a nice pompous voice to do that, right? Not that all senators are pompous, but at least the typical impression of the Roman senator is very pompous, full of themselves, be a man. Well,
I don't know how I'm going to do that. I'm just going to read it,
yes,
because
well,
reading Shakespeare is a big deal.
yes,
As someone
yes.
whose English is not first language.
If you have trouble, I'd be surprised. You'll see, it's not simpler than you think. All right, here we go. Scene 2. Corioli, the Senate House. Enter Tullus, Aufidius, and certain senators. Wow, so it's not, how does he come to be in the Senate House and the senators, and he's invading? Wow, so there's something's up here, right? Okay. Enter Tullus, Aufidius, and certain senators.
So your opinion is, Ophidius, that they of Rome are entered in our councils and know how we proceed?
Is it not yours? Whatever have been brought on in the state that could be brought to bodily act here Rome at circumvention? It is not 4 days gone since I heard thence. These are the words. I think I have the letter here. Yes, here it is. They have pressed the power, but it is not known. Whether for east or west, the dearth is great. The people mutinous, and it is rumored Cominius, Marcius, our old enemy, who is of Rome worse hated than of you, and Titus Lartius, a most valiant Roman. These three lead on this preparation, with it to spend, most likely this for you. Consider on it.
Our armies, you scroll, our armies in the field. We never yet made doubt, but Rome was ready to answer us.
Nor did you think it folly to keep your great pretenses veiled till when? They needs must show themselves, which is in the hatching, it seemed, appeared to Rome. By the discovery, we shall be shortened in our aim, which was to take in many towns here, almost Rome should know we were afoot.
Noble of Phidias, take your commission. Tie you to your bands. Let us alone to guard Corioli. If they set down before for the remove, bring up your army. But I think you'll find they have not prepared for us.
Oh, not that. I speak from certainty. Nay, more. Some parcels of their power are forth already, and only hitherward I leave your honours. If we and Caius Marcius chance to meet, the sworn between us we shall ever strike, till one can do no more.
God
assist you. yeah, that's good. Yeah. And keep your honours safe.
Farewell.
Farewell. Oh, farewell. Excellent.
Farewell.
All right, so this makes sense now. The Senate here where we're talking about, this is the Senate of, I forget what they called, but it's not Rome, it's their own Senate of their own senators. So it's not Roman senators we're talking to, the senators of the enemy, right? Oh, which is rather interesting because, at the time, I don't know if there were anything else that had a Senate, but it's a play, it's making an up, so fair enough. Yeah, and that makes sense now. That makes sense. Okay, so now we've got Volumnia and Virgilia. Volumnia. I love that name. I'm going to use it for the big woman. And I'm just looking here. Okay, I'll read Volumnia and you read Virgilia.
Okay.
Okay, Virgilia. I'm reading Volumnia. Scene 3. Act 1, Scene 3. Rome. An apartment in Marcius's house. Enter Volumnia and Virgilia. They sit down on 2 low stools and so. I pray you, daughter, sing or express yourself in a more comfortable sort. If my son were my husband, I should freelier rejoice in that absence wherein he won honor than in the embracements of his bed, where he would show most love, when yet he was but tender body, and the only son of my womb, when youth with comeliness plucked all gaze his way, when, for a day of kings' entreaties, a mother should not sell him an hour from her behold. I, considering how honor would become such a person, that it was no better than picture-like to hang by the wall if renown made it not stir, was pleased to let him seek danger where he was to find fame. To a cruel war I sent him, from whence he returned his brows bound with oak. I tell thee, daughter, I sprang not more in joy at first hearing he was a man-child, than now in first seeing he had proved himself a man.
But he had died in the business, madam. How then?
Then his good report should have been my son, I therein would have found issue. Hear me profess sincerely, and I a dozen sons, each in my love alike, and none less dear than thine in my good Marcius. I had rather had 11 die nobly for their country than one voluptuously surfeit out of action. Enter a gentleman.
Madam, madam, the Lady Valeria is coming to visit you. Oh, beseech you, give me leave to retire myself.
Indeed you shall not. Methinks I hear hither your husband's drum. See him pluck Aufidius down by the hair, as children from a bear. The Volsces shunning him. Methinks I see him stand thus, and call thus. Come on, you cowards! You were got in fear, though you were born in Rome. His bloody brow, with his mailed hand, then wiping, forth he goes, like to a harvestman that's tasked to mow, or lose his hire.
His bloody brow? Oh, Jupiter, no blood.
Exclamations there. Please read the exclamation.
How to do that? So just
Well, she's exclaiming, his bloody brow. Oh, Jupiter, no blood. There's some energy in there, right?
okay. Is it in terms of slang here she's using? Yes.
No, she's just exclaiming. She's just like, oh, he's been injured, in other words, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
His bloody brow. Oh, Jupiter, no blood.
Away, you fool. It more becomes a man than gilt his trophy, the breasts of Hecuba. When she did suckle Hector, looked not lovelier than Hector's forehead when it spit forth blood at Grecian swords contending. Now, Valeria, we are fit to bid her welcome. All right, so let's just do a little aside here, right?
Yes.
And it's always useful to know Greek mythology, at least more or less, right? The main things. This comes from Homer. Homer influences so much. Homer is repeatedly referred to. This is Shakespeare, probably 2,000 years after Homer, right? And Homer was long before the ancient Greeks even that we all think of. He was ancient to the ancient Greeks, like, Plato and Socrates, Aristotle and all of those, right? And so many centuries went by of classic Greek era, and Homer was predating all of that, right? So Homer, very ancient, but incredibly influential. And much comes from Homer. And in the main story of Homer, the Greeks go across the sea to Troy, and Troy is in, I think, modern-day Turkey or somewhere in that area. So anyway, they go across the sea, and they try, and the first time their whole fleet gets wiped out, and long story. But the main hero of Troy is Hector, yeah? And obviously his mother is Hecuba. And so he's the big hero of Troy. And Achilles is the main hero. There's others, it's Ajax as well, but the main hero of the Greeks is Achilles. But Achilles is not necessarily a very nice fellow, even though he's a big hero, because he goes out and taunts Hector, because the Trojans are all inside the walls, and they're locked down, and the Greeks can't do anything to them, right? They can't get inside the walls. So Achilles goes daily, right? And he goes and taunts Hector, and that's where the word hectoring comes from. In English, to hector somebody is to bother them, to stress them, to be on their back all the time, right? And verbally assaulting them on a continuous basis. And this is where the word hectoring comes from. This is what Achilles does to Hector. And it's terrible. It's like really nasty in what he says, right? He's calling him all sorts of names and taunting him and insulting him, and then also whatever he can to try and make Hector come out. Eventually, of course, poor Hector does come out, and Achilles promptly kills him. Right? There's a big fight, big fight scene, but he kills him. And then this is really fascinating, right? Just what you wouldn't expect. Achilles ties Hector's body behind his chariot, and he rides around Troy, the walls of Troy, for days on end, dragging this corpse of Hector behind him. Utterly disrespectful, not only of Hector, but of the Trojans. Achilles is like really extreme in his kind of hatred, and well, not even hatred. It's not even a hatred in his putting down, his demeaning, being derogatory and denigrating towards the Trojans. It's really unusual because Achilles has he has a quarrel with his lover, and there's a big fight, and he's all down, and he's also a bit annoyed by being there because they spend years sieging Troy. It's a whole long, wonderful thing. And of course, the main story too, that comes in quite subtly though, is how the gods get involved in all of this, right? I mean, the whole war started because of the gods, and how they're in the background pulling the strings, causing trouble, and they're doing this for really vain and petty reasons. And so Achilles is kind of protected because one of the gods likes him, but he's a terrible guy. He's horrible. Anyway, so right, but now she's saying, right? Let's see. She's saying it's in this case, okay, he's got a head wound of some kind, but Virgilia, she's kind of sensible and normal, and well, it's like, oh well, I don't want my husband or anybody to be injured. But Volumnia, whose son it is, she says yes, but it becomes him, right? Right. So she says even the breasts of Hecuba, when she suckled Hector, looked not lovelier than Hector's forehead when it did spit forth blood at Grecian swords content. Right. Well, it didn't end so well for Hector, but nonetheless, Hector was still a big hero. So to the mother and the wife, they have very, very different perceptions about warfare, and to Volumnia, she's totally into the superiority paradigm that this is very manly, and die and you get glory, and even if you die, like she said, she'll rather have 11 sons die on the battlefield than not fight. So bit of a interesting mindset that she has there. But let's let's continue here, Virgilia. You go.
Sorry, I was busy on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Everything good there? Everything good
Yes,
there?
yes.
Okay.
Heavens bless my lord from fell of Odysseus.
All right. So just a quick note here of language. Fell here doesn't mean the past tense of fall. Fell means negative, not pleasant, horrible, right? So fell is like a word for nasty, right? Which comes from Lucifer, fallen, right? Fallen angel. So you're saying if you call somebody fell, you're saying you like the worst possible thing ever, right? Yeah. Interesting, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. I read again, please, Peter. Then I could.
Heavens bless my lord from fell of Odysseus.
He'll beat Ophidius's head below his knee and tread upon his neck. Volumnia is quite a piece of work, right? It's like, dang girl. Seriously. Right. Well, re-enter I just want to read. Re-enter gentlewoman with Valeria and her usher. Now this is Valeria. So hang on. You read Virgilia. I'll read the other characters just to keep it straight. So yeah. So just stick with. Well, I suppose you could read Valeria too. All right, I'll read Valeria as well. All right, go ahead.
My lady's boat, good day to you.
Sweet madam.
I'm glad to see your ladyship. How do you boat? You are manifest housekeepers. What are you sewing here? A fine spot in good faith. What is your little son? Right.
Malaria is calling him Marcius, right? This big fighter. Well, I don't know if he's a general yet, but he's at least second in command to the general. And he's a senator and everything. But she calls him as your little son. Now, maybe she's referring to another one, but he's the topic here. It's just is she putting him down? Is she just being or is she maybe being just like, okay, he's your but it may be that she means it in the sense that he's a treasure to you, he's precious to you, right? So Virgilia says,
yes, I thank your ladyship. Well, good madam.
He had rather see the swords and hear the drum than look upon his schoolmaster.
Oh my word, the father's son. I'll swear this a very pretty boy. Oh my trot. I looked upon him Wednesday. Half an hour together has such a confirmed countenance. I saw him run after a gilded butterfly, and when he caught it, he let it go again, and after it again, and over it comes, and up again. Catched it again, or whether his fall enraged him, or how 'twas he did so, set his teeth and tear it. Oh, I warrant how he mammocked it.
One on's father's moves.
Indeed, now, 'tis a noble child. A crack, madam. Come lay aside your stitchery. I must have you play the idle housewife with me this afternoon. No good, madam. I will not out of doors. Not out of doors?
No, not out of doors. She like this exclamation.
Okay. Not out of doors?
Yeah. She shall.
Indeed. No, by your patience, I'll not over the threshold till my lord return from the wars. Fie, you confine yourself most unreasonably. Come, you must go visit the good lady that lies in. I will wish her speedy strength and visit her with my prayers, but I cannot go thither.
Why, I pray you?
'Tis not to save flavor, nor that I want love. You would be another Penelope. Yet they
Penelope.
Okay. You would be another Penelope. Yet they say all the yarn she spun in Ulysses,
Ulysses. Yeah,
Ulysses. Okay. All the yarn she spun in Ulysses' absence did but fill, what is the word here?
Ithaca.
Ithaca, full of moths. Come, I would your cambric way were sensible as your finger, that you might leave pricking it for pity. Come, you shall go with us. No,
one second, yeah. So Ulysses, right, which is Odysseus. Now, Ulysses is the Roman name for Odysseus. And Odysseus is the main character of the second main book of Homer. The first is called the Iliad, and the second is called the Odyssey, after Odysseus, right? So the word Odyssey is derived from Odysseus. And what happens is at the end of the Trojan War, the end of the Iliad, book 1, Odysseus is talking to his veteran, one of the veterans, commander, and his name is Menelaus. Anyway, and he says to Menelaus, what's up with this? We spent all these years, I think they were like 10 years or something in this battle, right? A very long time, a major part of your life, away from home, and for what? Because the gods were quarreling, and this hubris, him daring to criticize the gods, Heaven forbid. Now, when you understand superiority paradigm thinking, then this is a very profound thing, right? And at that time, keep in mind, Homer is very, very ancient, right? And when Homer is in his character saying something to against the gods, it's unthinkable, right? It's very revolutionary. It's really huge. And of course, what happens is the god is really annoyed at this. Now, she doesn't kill him outright because who knows why, but she's determined to make him suffer for this. And so this journey home that Homer take, Odysseus take, I forget how long it was, but I don't know, maybe another decade. It takes him to finally get home, because he has all of these trials and tribulations. You remember the centaur on the island, and the harpies, and all of these magical creatures, and the whirlpools, and all of this stuff, right? So he has all of these incredible adventures, and all because he dared to criticize. But the main point of this, it's a very big point, and yes, it doesn't, well, it will explain Valeria's comment there a little bit, but I'm going a little more because it's very significant, this journey of Odysseus. It's not referenced here in Shakespeare now, so I'm just giving a little extra. But in the Odyssey, Odysseus proves that despite the gods being negative, man can overcome through dint of thinking, effort, craftiness, intelligence. Right? And this is a new thing. In other words, Homer is bringing about a shift in the understanding of how the world works. Before that time, well, everything happened because of the gods, and there was nothing you could do about it, and so be it. But Homer comes and says, no, look at Odysseus here. He does survive all this, despite the best efforts of it's a goddess, I think, that was upset with him. Despite her best efforts, he survives. And he's crafty, and he's clever, and he's intelligent. So we don't need to be at the whim and the mercy of the gods, or nature, if you want, or fate, or any of the stuff, right? You can determine your own fate. That's it. Patience, perseverance, persistence, determination, impeccability, numbers, even though they didn't use that word, right? And this is a massive big deal, in the shift, in the change of the conceptionality, right? And it's why Homer stays, and Homer is so relevant, right? Because even though that was the story, religion still persisted. It's still persisted, right? But by the time we get to classic Greeks, it's not as powerful as it once was. People believe because they kind of should, but it's not really a major part of their lives, right? And of course, it all dies eventually, at least this form of religion, to be replaced with one that's, well, not quite so BMN-y, not quite so capricious, not quite so childish. Because really, when you look at ancient, ancient Greek myths, and those gods are just absolutely abhorrently terrible. But it's accepted. If you've got power, you can abuse it. It's accepted. It's fascinating stuff. And so when we read Homer, when we read it with this view, that's actually something what we might do, Beena, is reread Homer. But the first book is quite dreadfully boring in a way. A lot of fight scenes that go on forever. But you can read the second one, the Odyssey, because there's a lot in there in terms of the development of consciousness, the development of awareness, right? And seeking to unhook from the superiority paradigm, although they don't quite succeed, because Homer still is tied to it in glory and all of this stuff, right? But now, just to get back to Valeria's comment, right? She says to Virgilia, who doesn't want to leave the house, you would be another Penelope, which is Odysseus or Ulysses' wife, right? And she spun the yarn she spun in Ulysses' absence did but fill Ithaca full of knots, because she was spinning, sewing and spinning for like 20 years or something, right? And all it did was create a lot of knots. Yeah. So it's kind of a funny reference there to say,
Yes.
you're not going to waste your time here. You might wait forever. All right, please continue here.
From Valeria?
From Virgilia, no. Yeah.
No, actually, okay. No, good madam, pardon me. Indeed, I will not vote. In truth, la, go with me, and I will tell you excellent news of your husband. Oh, good madam, there can be none yet. Verily, I did not jest with you. There came news from him last night. Indeed, madam, in earnest, it's true. I heard a senator speak it. Thus it is. The Volsces have an army fought, against whom Comenius and general is gone. But one part of our Roman power, your lord and Titus
Titus.
Titus Latius, are set down before their city Corioli. There nothing doubt prevailing, and to make it brief wars. This is true, on mine honor, and so I pray, go with us. Give me excuse, good madam, I will obey you in everything, but okay, in everything hereafter.
Let her alone, lady, as she is now. She will but disease our better mirth.
Wow. Wow.
That's why I love Shakespeare. She will but disease our better mirth. What a way of saying, oh, she's going to be a killjoy. Or she's going to harsh my mellow. Yeah.
Yes. In truth, I think she would. Fare you well then. Come, good sweet lady. Pray thee. Virgilia turned the solemnness. What? How to pronounce it?
Solemnness, yes. Turn thy solemnness.
Solemnness out a door and go along with us. No, at a word, madam. Indeed, I must not. I wish you much mirth. Well, then farewell.
So with Shakespeare, the commas are quite important, right? There's a cadence to Shakespeare. You see, like in this one. You see, no, at a word, madam, indeed I must not. Right? There's that, it adds extra weightiness to the word and makes it formal. So we have to really pay attention to the commas in Shakespeare. Yeah. I wish you much. Yeah. No, I know. I'm just saying it's not for nothing that the commas are there. It's not just a curiosity, right? So this, yeah. So this prithee, you'll see it's spelled in many different ways. It's I pray thee. It's a contraction of I pray thee. I ask you most sincerely, in other words, right? But it became abbreviated and condensed and became its own word, be prithee. Yeah? But it starts from I pray thee. I ask of thee. Yeah? A very solemn request. All right, scene 4. And who do we have here? Let's see. Okay. All right. So I'll read Marcius, and then you do Latius, and then whoever, like here, the messenger. See, if I'm reading, whoever's not reading reads the other character. You understand what I mean?
Okay.
All right. So you do Latius, yes, but they seem to be the two main ones here. But then when it's the first senator, whoever's not reading responds. You see what I mean? So we don't have each of us doesn't read the same character, doesn't read two different characters back to back.
Okay.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see, so like in this case, I'll be reading Marcius, you read the senator. You see, and then you read the messenger also. And then if there's something that comes after Latius, that's not who's this here? It's Marcius. You see, like Latius, then I'll read the all. You see, and then you read this first solve there, so we carry on. That makes sense?
Yes, if I will remember it, I will try.
Yeah. Well, in other words, just you read Latius and I read Marcius, and then whoever's not, you just respond. He'll see it works. Okay, scene 4. Before Coriolanus enter with drum and colors. Marcius, Titus, Artius, officers and soldiers. Yonder comes news, a wager they have met.
My horse to yours. No.
The stunned.
Agreed.
Enter a messenger. Say, has our general met the enemy?
They lie in view, but have not spoke as yet. So the good horse is mine.
I'll buy him of you.
No, I'll nor sell nor give him. Lend you him I will for 100 years. Summon the town.
How far off lie the armies?
Within this mile and half.
Then shall we hear their alarum, and they ours. Now, Mars, I prithee, make us quick in work, that we with smoking swords may march from hence to help our fielded friends. Come, blow thy blast. They sound upon, enter on the walls, some senators and others. Tullus Aufidius, is he with, oh, that's him saying that. Tullus Aufidius, is he within your walls?
No, nor a man that fears you less than he. That's lesser than a little. Hark our drums are bringing forth our youth. Will break our walls rather than they shall bound us up. Our gates, which yet seem shut, we have put pinned with rushes. They'll open of themselves. Now far off. Hark you far off. There is Ophidius. List what work he makes amongst your cloven army.
Yeah, interesting. You see, it calls it the cloven army. See, again, the cloven foot, the beast, is like a half goat, typical satanic type of an idea, right? See, so now he's calling this army very wicked and evil. But you see, this cloven army, very interesting. Yeah. Oh, they are at it.
Their noise be our instruction. Ladders, ho!
The Volsces enter and pass over. They fear us not, but issue forth their city. Now put your shields before your hearts, and fight with hearts more proof than shields. Advance, brave Titus. They do disdain us much beyond our thoughts, which makes me sweat with wrath. Come on, my fellows. He that retires, I'll take him for a Volsci, and he shall feel mine edge. Alarums and exuent exuent Romeans and Volsces fighting. Romans are beaten back to their trenches. Re-enter Marcius. All the contagion of the south light on you. You shame of Rome. You heard of wiles and plagues. Plaster you over that you may be abhorred, farther than seen, and one infect another. Against the wind a mile, you souls of geese that bear the shapes of men. How you have run from slaves that apes would beat, Pluto and hell, all hurt behind, backs red and faces pale, with flight and ague fear. Men, you charge home, or by the fires of heaven I'll leave the foe and make my wars on you. Look to it. Come on. If you'll stand fast, we'll beat them to their wives, as they us to our trenches. Another alarm. The Volsces and Romans re-enter, and the fight is renewed. The Volsces retire into Corioli, and Marcius follows them to the gates. So, now the gates are open. Now prove good seconds. This for the followers' fortune widens them, not for the fillers. Mark me and do the like. He enters the gates. Wow.
Fool! Foolhardiness, not I.
Nor I. Marcius is shut in. Wow.
See, they have shut him in.
To the pot. I warned him. Alarm continues. Re-enter Titus Lartius.
What has become of Marcius?
Slain, sir. Doubtless, slain. Sir, doubtless.
Following the flyers at the very heels. With them he enters, who upon the sudden clapped to their gates. He is himself alone to answer all the city.
Yeah.
O
So
noble
clap
fellow.
2, right? Clap
Okay,
2,
clapped.
close. Clap
Clapped
2.
to their gates.
Yeah.
Okay. Clapped to their gates. He is himself alone to answer
Right.
all the city.
Sorry. It's not clap 2. It's clap 2. See what I mean?
Okay.
It's together. Yeah. Clap 2
Okay.
their gates.
Clapped to
Yeah.
their gates. He
Yeah.
is himself alone to answer all the city.
Yeah.
Okay. O noble fellow, who sensible outdares his senseless soul, and when it bows, stand up, thou art left. Marcus, a carbuncle.
Carbuncle.
Sorry?
Carbuncle.
Okay. A carbuncle entire, as big as thou art, when not so rich a Jew, thou wast a soldier. Even to Cato's wish, not fierce and terrible, only
Cato.
in strokes. Sorry?
Cato.
Cato.
Yeah.
Cato.
Yeah.
I'm asking, sir, is it Cato?
Yes, Cato. Yes, Cato.
Okay,
Cato would have 2 T's. Cato.
Okay. Even to Cato's wish, not fierce and terrible, only in strokes, but with thy grim looks and the thunder-like what is the word here? Like percussion?
Percussion.
Yeah, percussion of the sound. Though maddest, thine enemies shake, as if the world were fibrous and did tremble.
So that's madest. Thou madest thine enemies.
Oh, madest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's poorly written, but yeah, that's just
no, it's not poorly written. I'm not aware of it. So though madest, thine enemies shake, as if the world were fibrous and did terror.
Thou, not though, thou.
Oh, thou madest thine
Be and
enemies
thou.
shake. Yes, as if the world were fibrous and did tremble.
Fibrous.
Fibrous and did tremble. Re-enter Marcus, reading, assaulted by the enemy.
Look, sir!
Oh, it is Marcus. Let's fetch him off or make remain alike. A fight and all enter the city.
Oh, interesting.
It's a big thing.
A turn up for the books here, right? I mean, it was interesting that Marcus gets trapped in, but he comes back out again. So Marcus, for all his bluster and skullduggery intent, he's got some actualness to him, right? He's not a wimp, in other words. He's not just a craven behind. He can deal with stuff, right? So he's got something to support his bluster somewhat. Very interesting. Very interesting. You know what? I think let's end it here.
Okay.
Shakespeare is good in little bits. So we'll continue with scene 5 tomorrow. I'm enjoying doing the reading, but again,
actually, I was thinking the same because for me it was a big thing that I'm stumbling upon every word like.
Oh, not really. No, you're doing fine.
No, but it is good. Okay. I'm not saying in a negative way.
Practice.
I'm just learning. Yes.
Yeah. No, it's wonderful. And that's the point, see? It's being able to stumble. Exactly. That's a skill you've learned a long time ago and you're really good at it. It doesn't bother you, it doesn't put you out, you don't mind being corrected, and that's how we learn. If you make it an issue, you'll never learn. And then we can't do something like this. Now we're having fun. This is fantastic. And also, Beena, we're doing something else here because it's a play. And yes, we're doing capital R reading, but not as much as usual going into it because so far it's pretty simple, the story, right? And we're still very early into this. I mean, we haven't gotten very far at all. But in this too, beside capital R reading, which like I was explaining a bit about Homer and all that, and I cannot emphasize how influential Homer is. I don't think most people even realize how influential Homer is. Like the word Hector, right? Hectoring somebody. It comes from that, right? And so many things come from this. Odyssey, all of this. But even more so in terms of the cultural, psychological impact. But beside the capital R reading aspects, which aren't that many here, right? And the appreciation of the language, which is constant. There's also in our reading, we are practicing being a bit dramatic, right? To read it with as if we were on stage, yes, and acting it a little bit, right? I mean, like you see all the exclamations there. You have to read those, right? I mean, I'm not when I mean read the exclamation, I don't mean the thing itself. I mean read as if it's an exclamation, right? There's energy, in other words, right? It's not just
Yes.
a simple statement. And also
Yes.
to feel the energy of the words, the character. How are they saying it? Wow, like Volumnia, you can feel she's a bit of a high energy, forceful kind of, but fierce in her own right. Yes. So and Valerius obviously a bit more retiring, a little bit more mellow, a bit more gentle, a bit more loving and kind, and so on. Right. So
Yes.
reading that is also important. Now
It
others like
is.
Latius, we don't really get his character. He's just an officer. He doesn't stand out in any way. Um, he's supportive. He's just a good officer. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting, a twist here, right? To see he goes in and comes back out again. So kind of little fine twist here. Now, so far, I haven't yet, and I don't remember Coriolanus. It didn't stand out to me or having read Shakespeare, all of these things a couple of times. It didn't stand out to me, but this was on a recommended reading list. That other books on there, which I'm familiar with, many of them classics, they do stand out and are noteworthy books. So I had some reason to trust this recommended reading list, and it's really fascinating that it's the only Shakespeare. Why this particular Shakespeare? It's very interesting because so far, it's not giving any indication as to having a moreness to it. Yeah, to warrant it being on that recommended reading list. So
This
yeah,
is very
very
interesting.
interesting.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
interesting. And my takeaway, other than that, okay, yes, I'm learning and I'm trying to learn new words, new cadence also. But
yes,
my takeaway, which actually I never realized before, my idea, my perception of people who have really like really a big, huge vocabulary, um, really sophisticated vocabulary they have. I never, even though I am continuously interacting with you and you have such an amazing, amazing vocabulary, but I never realize it or it never comes to me in this complete clarity before that people assume that people who have such a big, sophisticated and really humongous vocabulary, it's a wordplay, like they say, they love to do that, but actually, it also shows that these people are understanding way before other people. So they have a time to articulate their words.
yeah,
This is something we need to pay attention that if a person is coming with
yes,
such a fancy sentence or with such a fancy response, okay, like
yes,
Shakespeare's characters, they are understanding the intent of other person. They are understanding the situation in
yes,
with that speed so they can actually articulate their sentences like this. Who can have a
yes.
time to think like that? You cannot just do this like, okay, oh, I need to
Yeah.
be okay, fancy here. No, you cannot do
Right.
this unless or until you really understand the situation and other people's
Yes,
intents and of course the implications of that.
yes,
This is something
yes,
now it changes a complete, like it changes everything for me, because the characters are not just fancy pants people that who are talking like this, but they understand it much quicker than normal people. We need to pay attention to that.
Right.
It's not
So
just
yeah, you're
fancy.
saying there's when you buy implication, Shakespeare's characters are very sophisticated. Yes, that's what
Yes,
you're
they
saying.
are. Yes, they are, because the normal response, like in conversation, like I'm talking to you right now, and you are responding. If it's a casual way, even your casual conversation is not a casual conversation like other people, but I'm just saying that, okay. But you're responding in a casual, yes, okay, yeah, Beena, yeah, okay, that's it. But if you are able to respond on time in
Yes,
a completely new situation with this finesse, with this extremely perfect, almost perfect articulation,
yes,
which means that you don't need time to process all these things. You are already aware. When I start talking, you are already aware of my intent, what I'm trying to say, what are the
yes,
implications involved into that, and you have all the time in the
yes.
world in your mind on a very fast speed to articulate your sentences like that. This is amazing.
Right. So now we are looking at Shakespeare's characters make the extra effort to not only be articulate, and this is what articulate means, right? To say things in a more creative way, in a more expressive way, a more thorough way. But they also make an effort to elucidate. And they elucidate, and not necessarily by way of explaining the situation, but their elucidation is of that which is not necessarily said. So they'll say extra things which add support, right? And they will express that which is inside of us, but we don't always say. But in Shakespeare, they do say it.
They do say, and also they do pay attention to what other person are doing, showing, and not saying,
Yes,
all these
yes,
things. So it's a lot involved into this, because if you just
yes,
try to imagine that, I know someone, okay, other than you also, I know someone who is very articulate in his expression, and he takes a full time to, when he's listening, he is listening with his full body, like really, with all the senses and everything. He's paying attention, and then he's not taking time to respond. But when he responds, he address all the points you are making, never miss anything, which is amazing for me. And he's super articulate into this. So
ah,
and now I'm learning from the Shakespeare's character. Shakespeare is
yes,
I'm not aware of it. Okay, I just knew the name and few things about it. Now I'm reading it, and now I'm understanding, trying to understand, at least starting to understand the sophistication behind his writing. He is making the characters who have this sophisticated understanding, and they have the time to alter it. It's the speed of understanding things cannot be innate unless or until the sophistication and the understanding and the awareness is innate to you.
exactly, exactly, exactly. And so far, this is a very simple Shakespeare,
Yes.
very simple,
Wow.
right? So
Wow.
it's a good it's oh yeah, oh yeah. We'll read some
Poor
more.
me. Poor me.
It only seems complicated. It only seems complicated, but it isn't really. And once we let go of the belief that it's complicated, then we suddenly click what is going on, right? And that patience, I forgot to mention in the beginning again. I must remind me, Beena, was always emphasize this: the patience required. If you don't understand, just wait. Shakespeare makes it clear later on. It will fall into place. You've got to
Hmm.
pause your like what's going on. Don't say that. Just wait. Okay, I don't get it just yet, but I know it's coming. And then when you trust it's coming, you stay open and you just follow along, and your brain puts it all together. It's quite a magical thing, and it's a very profound skill to develop. Most profound skill, very useful. But yeah, we'll definitely do some of the classics like Macbeth or King Lear or one of those after this. Yeah, because well, it depends how it goes later on. but where the language usage is much richer. Yeah, and then we'll do some of the romantic comedies. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's got plenty of those, and they're quite fun. And they're very fun. Just romantic comedies. If you enjoy watching romantic comedies, picture you, Grant, and whoever the female lead is, and go for it.
Okay, okay. So I'm enjoying this, not because, of course, the story. I still have not a clear idea that what is happening. Okay, yes, the incident they are telling and all that, but it is not about the story. It is about how the story has been told, and this is something
Precisely,
very. This is
precisely.
something very
Yeah,
important for me.
yeah.
So
The story itself is merely a mechanism, a framework, a container
yes,
for
yes,
the opportunity for the characters to express themselves. And here in Shakespeare, the characters capital E express themselves, right?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. It's very
Okay.
powerful what they do. Very powerful.
It
Brilliant,
is. It
brilliant.
is. It is. Thank you so much, Syl. Thank you so much for sharing this, and thank you so
Oh,
much for
pleasure,
introducing
pleasure.
this. It's a
Yeah.
different again. See that when you allow moreness to come, magic happens. So
Yes.
for
You
me, the
asked, you said, oh, I want something different. And then it came.
exactly, exactly, and I had no idea. And you can, as you guys can hear that I was I'm trying to read that, and I will learn. Of course, it will happen. You might feel that, okay, oh, Beena, like, okay, you are ruining this story. I might.
Oh, no, no, not at all. Not at all. Not
Yes,
at all.
yes.
No,
I'm
no.
trying, and I'm enjoying it. This
But
is what
see,
the capital are
Beena,
reading. Yes,
but this is what I love about this now. Your every now and then, no, what's this? What's that?
yes,
It's in the sharing from a live point of view. It it's making Shakespeare accessible.
yes.
See, in
Okay.
that in your connecting to it and not being quite, it's making it accessible in the sharing of it. In the I see. Okay, not that fun. And like that
Yes,
maddest or maidest. I first read it
yes,
as maddest also, but then when I saw the whole sentence, no, that can't be right. So then I backward reconstructed it to get maidest, right? But the apostrophe is there to replace the E. See, that's why.
hmm.
But you know, of course, we're doing something too. To you ask actors who do Shakespeare, they train and practice to get it right and get all the. So it's hard work. They'll tell you Shakespeare takes a lot. It's a lot more work to do than other plays. We're just reading it blind, no rehearsal, no
Yes,
nothing,
no
right?
rehearsal, nothing.
and,
I
and,
had
and
no
we're doing a
idea.
pretty good job if you ask me.
Okay,
So
we
please
we
be
have.
happy with that, right?
Oh yes, I'm happy. I'm just saying that because capital R reading is a completely different process. It's also
Exactly,
okay.
exactly.
I'm relearning something also because I trained myself. I was trying to read a book. In that book, the author says that never, ever move on before you understand the word. If you're not understanding,
Exactly,
never move on.
exactly,
And I
exactly.
literally take it because I always respect uh, whoever is sharing. I always,
Yeah,
okay, in the past it was teachers. For me, I do respect them. I give respect. But if someone is saying and sharing in a specific way, please do follow that and trust them. Trust that
oh
process,
yeah.
but also trust them, their intent. I was not being very articulated before, but now I can share these things easily. So he said that in the writing that, okay, oh, never skip. And I trained myself. That was really a struggle for me because his language was super complicated for me, and I was trying to understand.
Oh, then we have to do a capital or reading of that, maybe.
Yes, okay, and I trained myself with it. Now Syl is saying that, okay, have patience, go through that, and it will make sense. So for me, it
And
is
and, and to
actually
yeah.
it's a
Oh,
reverse
okay.
process. It's a different
Yes.
process than than
Yes.
just staying there,
Correct.
opening a
Correct.
dictionary and thesaurus and then see that, okay, try to understand and
Right.
then move on.
Right.
But
Right.
now
Right.
it is a different process, different
Right.
approach to reach Shakespeare.
Yeah, because yes, I agree. Don't move on until you understand it, but understand that the moving on, uh, just give it a little bit of time, like the end of the paragraph or the next couple of sections or the end of the scene. Then, if you still don't understand it, then don't move on and go back and sort it out. All that I'm saying is that don't stop immediately, stop later if necessary. But typically, if you don't stop immediately, you can not only, in the case of Shakespeare, he makes an effort to restate it in a simpler way, but also you can figure out in context that word carbuncle. Yes?
Yes.
I've heard
Yes.
the word before, but I've forgotten exactly what it means. But if you look at it in context, well, it's some kind of a gem or a stone or some shiny object. Yes? See? So you
Yes.
can figure it out in context. And that skill, not only in Shakespeare, it is the skill of putting your desire to know immediately on pause, right? And really it's an exercise of trust. And we need, and this skill we need to apply with attunement as well. Same thing. If you get hung up on I don't understand, that's your brain is all it hears is I don't understand, and you don't actually hear the words because your brain says, what does it mean? What does it mean? Right? So we need to stay open and we need to stay in a space where we are allowing the input to actually come in. Right? And that's kind of difficult when it doesn't make any sense. Yeah? But we need to do that. Same thing with attunement. Same thing with attunement. But so the skill of putting a pause on our understanding and not being put out that we don't understanding, trusting that the understanding will come, and it does. Very profound. This is a profound life skill, life skill. And also, in addition to that, it is about contextual understanding. We figure it out retroactively. Yes. So I don't understand
Yes.
right now. Oh, like that Maidist. Well, was Maidist, and then the rest. Oh, okay, no, it must be Maidist. There you go. So that retroactive understanding, like same thing with carbuncle, it didn't matter that I didn't know what it meant, but then okay, I get it now. And then see, so this is important. Now we don't always get all the references. Like Cato, I know the name, but I don't remember specifically. And we can go and look it up. Does it matter? No, it doesn't really matter. But it is nice to get those references, to understand, because then it makes the point a bit more like Penelope, right? I mean, why would her stuff just be food for the moths? Well, because Ulysses took Silvers away for so long, right? I got to look that up now. How many years it was? Um, because I just for my own curiosity, I like to know. It was. I know it was very long. You know, it's always good to check these things. Like now too, follow up. Um, let's see. Come on, Google. I open a new window and I start typing. The thing is blinking in the box there, but no, I have to go and click first and then only get it. So I'll waste a whole sentence worth of typing. Uh, how long was the Trojan War? Yeah, the Iliad takes place over a period of 4 days and 2 nights, but it's in the 10th year of the decade-long siege of Troy. And let's see how long does the Odyssey take now. I think it's another decade. Let's see. So yeah, how long? Let's see. So yeah, that's one decade already. I mean, it's a long time to be living on the beach, essentially, right? Yeah, another 10 years. Good for me. I didn't remember specifically, but somewhere in my brain it stuck. So yeah, 10 years and 10 years. Yeah. It's interesting that this journey home, Ithaca, yeah, it's amazing. Just 10 years out there. So he's 20 years away from home. And of course, when he gets back home, Penelope's remarried, and of course, there's all sorts of drama. That's the other thing with Homer, is that it doesn't always go the way you'd expect things to go. And that's quite interesting. A lot of peculiar plot twists, really. Yeah. All right. And of course, much of the mythology that we know comes from there. It's full of mythology. Fascinating stuff. All right. We'll continue tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you so much for introducing Shakespeare, at least to read Shakespeare for me. It's a big deal, and I'm thoroughly enjoying this. This is something I'm practicing a lot of things into this. The first thing is to be open when you are trying to learn. Be honest with yourself and be honest with others. If I would try to make, the first thing I cannot, because when you are doing something live without rehearsals, without practicing, how can you hide this thing? Of course, other people are not stupid, they will understand. This is the first thing. Second, why to waste a lot of tons of energy into making up something? And third thing, it is going to, of course, divert your focus, which I cannot afford this. It's a precious time when I'm learning and I'm going to learn something out of it. My time is precious and I do give due respect to my time and energy also. So I'm not going to waste it. People, they have a desire to learn and grow, but somehow we do get caught up into this, that okay, no, it will be embarrassing if I will make mistakes, if other people will be like, really, okay, they will laugh at me or they will think less of me and something like that. And all these things might be true. Even if someone is laughing, so what? uh, I have nothing to do with their expressions. They can laugh if they want to, but for them. But my time and my energy is precious, and I need to be more focused on that. And this is what I'm doing. Also, it is all to practice to not get trapped in your ego. That's the thing. That's the foundation for everything. Clarity and honesty, self honesty, is an antidote for ego. If you don't want to get trapped into ego nonsense, you need to be self honest and honest in general. So this is my thought again. Thank you so much. We will see you guys tomorrow, and we will try to. Okay, I will try to read it again. Much better. I will try to do better than this. But this is something I'm really enjoying. Thank you again, Syl. See you guys
Oh,
tomorrow. And
pleasure.
please,
Me too. Me too. I'm enjoying.
if you
And
guys are watching us, yes, no, no, please.
I'm just saying, try. That's the point. All we can do sometimes is try, and we can have fun trying. That's it. Have fun trying.
Yes, yes. And if you guys are watching us recorded on YouTube or on Instagram, please do click like, subscribe, and make comment there, because by doing so, you are going to help the algorithm and you will provide data that this is what you value in your life. If you want more value in your life, if you are keen to learn and grow, and if you are keen to provide something more than usual scrolling stuff for a future generation, please like and subscribe to channels like this. I'm not saying only to this channel only, but
Correct.
whatever you really want in your life, do pay attention to your online algorithm, because ultimately it is going to set your life algorithm.
Exactly. The online algorithm and life algorithm work in the same way.
Yes. Okay,
They
see you
work
guys tomorrow.
Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye. And live video on Instagram and Zoom meeting, and we